Hi, I'm Julia. On this channel, I'm going to look at the issues facing our environment and our health. With the best of my ability, I'll summarise and share my review of the evidence with you. In this episode, I'll continue to examine the environmental justifications for following a vegan diet. This time, I'll examine the impact of agricultural practices on fresh water and ask if changing to a plant-based diet could help to reduce our impact on our planet's fresh water. Specifically, we'll look at the issues of freshwater use that may exacerbate or lead to water scarcity, and we'll look at agriculture's impact on water quality. We take fresh water for granted in our modern lives. We merely turn on the tap and clean fresh water appears. It's easy to forget that this water is precious. In fact, only 2.5% of the planet's water is fresh water, including all the ice in glaciers, groundwater, rivers and lakes. It's been estimated that at least 70% and as much as 92% of all the fresh water we use is used in agriculture, much more than is even used in industry or in our homes. The water footprint is a useful concept to evaluate the impact of human consumption on our water supply and to assess the total amount of fresh water used to grow or raise our food. So what do we mean by the term water footprint? According to the Water Footprint Network, the water footprint is a measure of humanity's appropriation of fresh water in volumes of water consumed and/or polluted. The assessment of the agricultural water footprint includes the amount of water used from rainfall, which is known as green water. It also includes groundwater from lakes and rivers, which is referred to as blue water. And it includes the amount of water needed to dilute pollutants introduced into the water from agrochemical use. This is known as grey water. Not all agricultural products have the same water footprint. Researchers from the Netherlands estimated that the average water footprint per calorie for beef is 20 times larger than for cereals and starchy roots. And the water footprint per gram of protein for milk, eggs and chicken meat is 1.5 times larger than for pulses. To produce each kilogram of beef, 15,415 litres of water are used compared to vegetables that use much less, just 322 litres of water per kilogram. Water is used in various ways in livestock production. Animals need water for drinking, and the bigger the animal, the more water is required for it. Water is used in industrialized farms for many processes, from cleaning to cooling and to waste disposal. Before the steak or chicken gets to your plate, water is used to clean slaughterhouses and prepare meat for market, and for growing the feeds to raise the animals. About 1/3 of the world's water footprint is used just to grow crops to feed animals. Nevertheless, there are many differences across geographic regions, from places with lots of green water availability to those that depend heavily on blue water to irrigate crops. And there are various types of agricultural practices used to raise livestock, from pastures to feedlots, that may have varying impact on localized water use. But in general, meat and dairy use more water than crops, and producing meat uses more water per calorie of food than other crops as well. Blue water, which comes from under the Earth's surface, is also known as groundwater. Most of the groundwater available to us is used to irrigate crops, whether they are crops for our direct consumption, that is food for us to eat ourselves, or crops grown to feed livestock. It's estimated that 12% of the world's use of groundwater and surface water for irrigation is used to grow animal feed. Groundwater sources are not necessarily replenished at the same rate as the groundwater is used. Groundwater replenishes slowly, leading to risk for future water scarcity. What are some of the issues of water quality relevant to agricultural practices? Nitrates from fertilizers, pesticides and other agrochemicals have been detected in groundwater and streams, and even in drinking water in the USA. Such chemicals should not be in our drinking water. For example, exposure to nitrates in the drinking water increases risk of various adverse health outcomes, including colorectal cancer. We are just starting to learn about our gut microbiome's role in our health, and we have much to learn about the effect of these agrochemicals in fresh water upon gut microbiome biodiversity and on our health. Our agricultural practices contribute to the problem of eutrophication, that is, runoff from fertilizers that cause plant growth and then oxygen depletion in the water, leading to the die-off of fish and animal life. Commercial feedlots used to keep cattle and dairy operations can use thousands of gallons of water each day. In addition, the manure produced by these operations can affect water quality and contaminate water with bacteria such as E. coli. Antibiotics used to speed up animal growth and to treat infection, as well as pharmaceuticals used in raising livestock, can contaminate groundwater. This may have implications for increasing antibiotic resistance. That's a lot to process, but what can each of us do? In the US, each of us eats 3 times more meat than the average meat consumption in the rest of the world. Is this okay, or should we try to increase plant-based foods and reduce our meat consumption? If you switch to a plant-based diet, it's estimated that you can reduce your individual American water footprint by 30%. Think globally and avoid imported foods that may come from areas of water scarcity. Consider increasing organic foods in your diet to help to reduce the use of pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers. Next time, I'll review the impact of agricultural practices on habitat loss for wildlife. Currently, 83% of the mammals on the planet are either humans or they're farm animals. What does this mean for the world's wildlife? Is this another reason to choose beans over beef? If you enjoyed this video, remember to like this page and subscribe to Your Care Plan on YouTube. See you next time.